Impact. From 6 a.m. to 12 noon every day on High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
And I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
Hello there. Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
We're not just any frequency. We're your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM. This is your everyday companion. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Good morning, and welcome to our Impact 102.1 FM. And it's time for today's newspaper review. And I am Timi Tokwe Arugundade. We're currently live on YouTube at Impact 102.1 FM. You can stream us directly from there. And of course, you can always join the conversation by calling us in or texting us 090-7224-5018. We want to hear your intake on these stories that we're going to be sharing this morning. The front pages this morning are dominated by major electoral debates, foreign exchange concerns, government spending decisions, and growing political positioning ahead of the 2027 general election. From pressure on lawmakers to abandon electronic commission of result to new customs exchange rate policies increasing port charges, today's headlines reflect serious policy and governance issues that could directly affect Nigerians. We'll be starting with the Punch newspaper this morning. Major headline on the Punch newspaper this morning says, emergency plenary. National Assembly moves to shift presidential poll to February 13. And we have three riders to this story. Senate House recall lawmakers from recess again to review 2026 electoral bill again on Tuesday. And the last rider to the story says presidential poll to hold earlier over Ramadan overlap. Another story we can see like a fire incident, a pictorial representative of a fire incident on the front page of Punch newspaper this morning. And the story goes, Shettima leads federal government delegation to Kano ahead devastating market fire. And you can get that story on page 20 of the Punch newspaper. Beneath that story we have Tinubu's Adamawa visit reignites Fintiri's defection rumors. Tinubu's Adamawa visit reignites Fintiri's defection rumors. And that story is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. Beside that story, we have insecurity. Lawmakers split over Ndume's support for U.S. troops deployment. Lawmakers split over Ndume's support for U.S. troops deployment, and that story is on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Beside that story, we have Kwankwanso returns from Indian trip amid U.S. sanctions threat. Kwankwanso returns from Indian trip amid U.S. sanction threats, and that story is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. Beside the nameplate, we have ex-INEC chiefs demand real-time result transmission as NAS panel meets. Ex-INEC chief demands real-time result transmission as NAS panel meets. And that's all the story we'll be taking on the Punch newspaper this morning. on to Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Major headline on Daily Trust newspaper says, why Kano Singer market keeps burning? Why Kano Singer market keeps burning? And that story is on pages 1 and 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And that seems to be all the story that we're going to be taking on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Before we move on to the remaining two papers this morning, we'll be going on a quick break, and when we are back, we'll analyze the remaining papers and also give some little hint on some stories we've taken, on these papers we've taken, and the other two papers that we'll be taking. And of course, you can always join the conversations by calling 090-7224-5018. I take that again, 090-7224-5018. You can text us via WhatsApp or SMS 090-7224-5018. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We are the best. Others can rest. High Impact Radio. Thank you. Next.
Take great pictures on Instagram. Tweet at us on Twitter. Let's see your dance on TikTok. Tag us at High Impact 1021 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
Last year, we made it fun. For this year, we're making it bigger, better, and louder.
This year, blessing, money, testimony. Go to follow, you they go.
High Impact 102.1 FM.
This is your everyday companion. High Impact 102.1 FM.
The king of radio is here. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Secure the future.
At High Impact Studios, we serve a platter of excellent services. Want to know what we offer? Get into our world of impeccable delivery, from premium audio production, excellent voiceover artistry, to a versatile space for all kinds of photo and video shoots. Our quality event coverage and cinematography professionals will give you an excellent coverage of all your memorable events. Our OB van is available for live streaming all your outdoor productions. Enjoy the High Impact effect. Contact us today on 0706-393-5694 or 0915-158-1881, or send a mail to info@high-impactstudios.com. High Impact Studios, the future.
Give it a 4. Your true urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Impact 102.1 FM, and we are currently reviewing the newspaper front pages, and we've gone through the Punch newspaper and the Daily Trust newspaper. And of course, like I said earlier, you can always join the conversation by calling us in by 090-7224-5018, or you text us via WhatsApp or SMS at 090-7224-5018. Moving on to the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Vanguard newspaper seems really packed this morning. Major headline: Electoral Act harmonization. Reps under pressure to abandon compulsory e-transmission of results. And we have quite some number of riders to this story. Empirical data guided our decision. And this is coming from the Senate. And another rider says, insist real-time electronic transmission of results not practicable now. Senate is insisting that real-time electronic transmission of results not practicable now, and that you have on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Moving on to another story, we have why most NAS members may lose seats in 2027. This is coming from Igini. Why most NAS members may lose seats in 2027. The former Electoral Commission, Mike Igini, reportedly suggests that many National Assembly members could lose their seats in 2027 due to shifting voter expectation and accountability demand. And you can get more on that on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Talking about the reps under pressure to abandon compulsory e-transmission of results, according to the papers, members of the House of Assembly representatives are reportedly facing pressure to drop compulsory electronic transmission of results as part of the Electoral Act harmonization process. The Senate is quoted as saying empirical data guided their decision, like we mentioned earlier, and insisting that real-time electronic transmission may not be practicable at this time. The development could reshape Nigeria's electoral process ahead of 2027. Electronic transmission was widely seen as a tool to improve transparency and reduce manipulation. Any reversal is likely to trigger strong reaction from civil society groups and opposition parties. Let's see how this pans out. Moving to another story on the Vanguard newspaper, we have 2027, Obi formally declares for ADC, vows to defy ballot rigging. Obi formally declares for ADC, vows to defy ballot rigging. Peter Obi has formally declared for the African Democratic Congress, that is ADC, and pledged to resist any attempt to ballot manipulation. This signals early political realignment and intensifies the conversations about coalition building ahead of the next general election. And of course, you can read that story on page 15 of the Vanguard newspaper. El-Rufai Ribadu bicker over alleged importation of poisonous substances. El-Rufai Ribadu bicker over alleged importation of poisonous substances, and that story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Beside the story, we have daily petrol imports declined by 42.2% to 28.8 million liters. Daily petrol imports declined by 42.2% to 28.8 milliliter, and that story is on page 22 of the Vanguard newspaper. Beside the story, we have federal government spends 26 billion naira on moribund Ajaokuta Steel Company, and that is on page 21 of the Vanguard newspaper. Above the nameplates, we communicate movement of terrorists to security agencies, but we communicate movement of terrorists to security agencies, but, and we have 3 riders to this story. Says terrorists can be defeated if. Another rider discuss massive infrastructure achievements. Another rider reveals how state IGR moved from 90 million to over 5 billion in 30 months. That's quite a lot. But you can get more on that story on page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper. And that's all we'll be taking this morning on the Vanguard newspaper. Moving on to the Guardian newspaper. Major headline of the Guardian newspaper this morning says port users pay more as NCS recreates multiple FX regime at 7% margin. Port users pay more as NCS recreates multiple FX regimes at 7% margin. The Nigerian Customs Service has reportedly set its exchange rate for assessing import duties at 1,451 naira 6 kobo per dollar, significantly higher than the spot rate, effectively recreating a multiple foreign exchange regime. Additionally, customs has added a 7% margin, increasing costs for port users, and this move is likely to raise import costs, which could eventually reflect in consumer prices nationwide. And you can get that story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Afenifere raises alarm over persistent terror attacks, abductions. Afenifere raises alarm over persistent terror attacks, adoptions, and that story is on news page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. CPPE decries 10 trillion naira yearly loss by MSMEs to employee corruption fraud. And that story is on news page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. AU Summit, Nigeria backs reforms, regional security measures. AU Summit, Nigeria backs reforms, regional security measures, and that story is on news page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. At the African Union Summit, Nigeria reportedly expressed support for continental reforms and stronger regional security collaboration. These align with the ongoing efforts to tackle terrorism and instability within Africa. And like I said, the story is on news page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Mixed reactions, Cho reported U.S. troops arrival amid fresh attacks. The Guardian reports mixed reaction following reports of the U.S. troop presence amid renewed security concerns. While some see it as strategic support, others question sovereignty implications. And of course, you can get that on news page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Kwara governor under fire for campaigning why terrorists raid community. Kwara governor under fire for campaigning why terrorists raid community. The Kwara State governor is criticized for engaging in political activities while community reportedly faced terrorist attacks. And this story underscores ongoing tension between governance responsibility and political mobilization. And that story is on page 9 of the Guardian newspaper. Tax Act. Presidency faults Amechi's claim on 25% bank deduction rule. Presidency faults Amechi's claim on 25% bank deduction rules. The presidency has countered claims attributed to Rotimi Amechi regarding a 25% bank deduction rule under the Tax Act, describing the claim as inaccurate. The issue reflects ongoing public confusion and debates over the new tax reforms, and that story you can get on page 9 of the Guardian newspaper. PMX supply hits 63 million liters per day as consumption falls to 60.2 million in January. The Guardian reports that petrol supply reached 63 million liters per day, while consumption dropped slightly to 60.2 million liters in January, and this suggests improved supply stability compared to previous periods of scarcity. And that story is on news page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. NLC alleges federal government planning to settle the boys with 3 trillion electricity subsidy. NLC alleges federal government planning to settle the boys with 3 trillion naira electricity subsidy, and that story is on news page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And the last story we're taking this morning on the Guardian newspaper says data shows 10-year capital funding gap in health sector. Data shows 10-year capital funding gap in the health sector, and that is on news page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And that's what we'll be taking this morning on the Guardian newspaper. This morning newspaper highlights 3 dominant themes: electoral integrity, economic policy direction, and security management. The debate over electronic transmission of results could shape the credibility of the 2027 elections. Meanwhile, customs, foreign exchange decision, and continued spending on legacy projects like Ajaokuta reflects deeper economic policy choices. At the same time, security concerns remain present, both domestically and regionally, reinforcing the urgency of governance reforms. And as Nigeria moves closer to another election cycle, transparency, accountability, and economic stability will remain central to public discourse. And of course, that concludes our today's newspaper review section. Join us tomorrow for another detailed look at the stories shaping our nations on these front pages. And that's all I'll be taking for now. Thank you so much for listening. Don't go anywhere. After this, by 8 a.m., the Morning Magnet Show will be coming up. And of course, you don't want to miss that. Don't go anywhere. And I've been your host for this morning, Temi Tokwe Arugundade. I'll be right back.
We don't set the standards. We are the standard. The frequency is 102.1.
Start your day with Impact as we give you positive affirmations, traffic updates, entertainment, fun trivia, and many more on Morning Impact. From 6 a.m. to 12 noon every day on High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
And I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
Hello there. Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.